And we are talking about today the contentment of the soul. Are we happy? Are we happy? Are we happy with Islam? Are we happy with what happens around us? Are we happy with our lives? Are we happy with how good of a Muslim are we? That's the question I want to ask today. We look around us and we find people who have different beliefs, different philosophies, different ways of looking at life and what happiness might bring. And we find that there are extremes in the world. People might say, well, we also have the so-called abandonment of the dunya, zuhud, and so on in this religion, and we're supposed to live, very simple lives. But you find these people taking it to an extreme, where they abandon it to the point that they will not take showers for long times, and they will bathe in very dirty places and think that this is part of being humble. And on the other side of the spectrum, you will find people who say, well, God gave us, so let's just take it. It's all good. Let's just have, who says that you're not supposed to have? And really indulging in this dunya to the point that it takes over their heart. It really takes over their heart, and it dictates what they're supposed to do or not supposed to do. They live their lives around this system. And both these are extremes. And if someone objectively looks at Islam and how Islam has defined this issue, I would say is the most balanced thing you will find out there. And to put it in very few words, Islam defines this life and this dunya and owning and having things as in keep it in your pocket but don't let it go in your heart. It's okay if you have it in your pocket, but don't let it go in your heart. However, if you feel like it's gonna go in your heart, you can cut it. If you don't want to have it in your pocket, if you feel like it's a fitna for you, then keep it away from there as well. But don't blame the one who has it in his pocket. Okay, and don't blame the one who wants to stay away from it. And we find the likes of Abu Darda radiallahu anh, who did not like to have it here or here. And we find the likes of Uthman radiallahu anh, who had it here but did not have it here. And then obviously you find people who had it here and didn't have it here whatsoever and always wanted it but never got it and lived their whole life chasing it. And then you find people who had it here and it made its way there. And Islam has made an amazing differentiation between all of these. So we must understand that. And I'm not sitting here in front of you saying that I figured out how to just keep it in your pocket and not let it hard. It's a fitna. It's a struggle every day. Whether it is our families that we call, from this dunya, our children, our wives, whether it's our cars, whether it's our salary, whether it's our businesses. All these things are acknowledged by Islam that they exist. And that someone can have it. There's Sharia that regulates how we make transactions, businesses, zakah, and so on. So no one can say that Islam is some kind of, monastic religion where you're just supposed to go to a mountain and that's it, and live in a monastery and just worship. No. And that's why Umar Khattab radiallahu anh, when he found the people just staying in the masjid, he said, go out, go do something. But at the same time, Islam puts the boundaries and regulations and says, well, be careful. Yes, there's Sharia, yes, there's regulations, but be careful because it's very easy for that thing to race from the pocket into the heart and take over your heart. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you seen the one who has taken his God as his God, his nafs, his hawa, his desires? And that can happen. Because when our dunya enters our hearts, the nafs will dictate, I want this, I want that, and our whole lives is dictated based on it. We start missing prayer, we can't wake up for fajr, forget about qiyam, forget about fasting any sunnah, it's not existent. 5 daily prayers become a burden, and even if we pray, in the mind is like, is the business okay? Am I making the accounts right? I have to pay this, the bill that, or did I pay this, did I do that? Is my car, what's happening here, what's happening there? And we're not even thinking about Allah if we are praying. So then this prayer becomes just movement.